Hi, good evening. Welcome to the Jon Gaunt Show. Nigel Farage has become the star of the Labour Party conference. This is going to be some cracking show. Like me, are you fed up of being called a racist by Starmer and his party? I'm fed up to the back teeth of it. Just because I'm concerned about the ridiculous levels of immigration, both legal and illegal, he's trying to say I'm a fascist, I'm a racist, and so are you. He makes me sick. But today, it's clear he has got Nigel Farage living in his head rent free. So forget Starmer. Even forget the Labour Party agenda or the conference, because I'm telling you, my friends, tonight it's all about Nigel Farage and Reform UK. Welcome to the Jon Gaunt Show. Thank you for joining me again. As I say, Nigel is living rent-free in the whole of Labour's head, dominating their entire conference. Starmer, Rachel Reeves, Rachel Thieves, maybe to me and you, David Lammy, the Jaffa Cake King, and Shabana Mahmood, the new Home Secretary. They just couldn't stop talking about him. It started yesterday, of course, when, what's his name? Starmer, I nearly forgot it then. He had the weakest, softest interview with Laura Kuenssberg. But he still managed to get into that basically people who went on that demo in London were racist, were fascist, were the far right, when clearly they weren't. That attack continued today, and I'll go on to that in a moment. But he said he was criticising Farage and that policy of basically saying to people who have got leave to stay, we're going to reassess it, and also we're going to make it more difficult to get in the first place. And then he went on about, these are the people who live next door to you, these are the people who run the National Health. All the usual cliches came out. Nigel Farage is not a racist, and nor am I, and nor are you. I'm not saying that on Tommy's demo there wouldn't have been some racists. Of course there would be. Go anywhere where there's a lot of people, there'll be some people that you don't particularly like and that you totally disagree with. But the idea that all of these people were almost skinheads, which is what Mahmood has said today, is outrageous. And it's another classic example of Starmer and his pathetic party getting the tone wrong again. He is politically tone deaf. I've told you this before, and he's illustrated it again. And clearly, he sent out instructions to the rest of them to talk about us all in this way. So this is what the reclaiming of the flag is, right? Oh, and that was pathetic. Oh no, I'll go on to that in a moment. Yvette Cooper as well. So there we are. Starmer set it up with his set piece interview. Rather than showing a bit of humility and saying, I'm listening, I get it. He did say, oh, I've got it. And then he seems to have forgot what he got. He basically blamed us again. So at the moment, you've got the Labour Party. They either blame the Conservatives, which of course they've got to take some of the blame, 14 years of misrule, or they blame us and say it's because we're far right. Now, whilst he was saying all this crap yesterday, 1,200 nearly people got out of their dinghies with their flip-flops and basically got into Britain while he was talking. What he needs to do is get a grip and forget Farage, forget slagging off the opposition, concentrate on doing his first job, his first duty, the protection of the British public. But no, not him. He wants to say the problem is us and the problem is the Tories. It's never his fault. Have you noticed that? If you've got a view, please write it down in the comments. He's went to a new low yesterday, but also he came over pathetically. And the papers have slagged him this week, today. Some people are saying, oh, he didn't say that everybody was racist, but it was clear. He implicitly implied that if anybody went on that demo, anyone who's concerned about the massive numbers that are getting into our country illegally, it's you who've got a problem, not the people who are doing it. He could solve all this overnight, as I keep saying. Rip up the ECHR, get out of that. Troops on the beach, Navy in the Channel, close the hotels, put them all in army camps and give them the direct choice. You're either going to stay here or bye, we'll pay you airfare, now clear off. He's got to put a deterrent, but he's still tinkering at the edges. Then it was briefed out, oh, there's going to be a lot of tough talk today at their conference. Well, do you know what I did for you today so that you didn't have to do it? I am so charitable. I watched the whole of their pitiful conference, well, as much of it that was on GB News as I could, and it was pathetic. Yvette Cooper, the former Home Secretary, who was about as much use as a chocolate fireguard, she started it off. She again said that they, the Labour Party, are the party of being patriots. They're the patriotic party, not Farage. In fact, she accused Farage, and indeed, therefore, all his membership, which is probably you as well, of being plastic patriots or patriots, whichever way you want to pronounce it. You're plastic. Oh, right. So all that bit when you were slagging off their flag for all those years, that never happened. Oh, I must have been in a coma. No, of course. Yvette Cooper's got all the bunting, hasn't she? Flags of St. George, the Union flag, which she calls the Union Jack. She's even got doilies. She's even got Union Jack knickers. I believe you, Yvette. You are number one patriot. Your middle name is John Bull. No, it's not. It's Bull shit. I couldn't believe it. So she kicked it off today. Oh, and then when Shabana Mahmood, the new Home Secretary, came on later, she said, oh, we must thank Yvette Cooper because she's repelling the people who are trying to get in. She sent, I can't even do it with my fingers, she sent 7 people back. As I say, 1,200 arrived over the weekend, and still they come. And they're bragging about it. It was almost today as if the Conservative, it's easy to mix up, the Labour Party were living not just on a different planet, but in a different world. They're on planet delusion. And they think they're all doing well, and they're all clapping like this. Chuck them a fucking fish, right? They're like performing seals. Oh, aren't we doing well? No. The Chancellor, Rachel Reeves, she came on. She gave Farage a kick in. Couldn't get away with not mentioning him, but she was exactly the same. Evidently, the economy's fantastic. It's going to come back. Just stay with Rachel. You can trust her. Oh, we can trust the woman who fiddled her CV. The woman who didn't work for the Bank of England in the job that she said she did. The woman who has made the deficit at least twice as big. It's just so much BS coming out of them. I tell you what, I'm going to blow a fuse sometime. And then I thought, well, why am I watching this? And I thought, you have to know what they're saying, John. And that is so correct. And then clearly, in this planet delusion in Manchester where they're having the conference, even though every single poll says Nigel Farage is winning, and if there was an election tomorrow, there was a poll of polls, if there was an election tomorrow, he would walk it. Yvette Cooper would lose her seat. So would the useless Chancellor of the Exchequer. But no, they're still celebrating as if the Titanic is not going to hit the iceberg. Because they said at the beginning, we're new, we're choice, we're this, we're the grown-ups back in the room. They're believing their own bullshit. So they don't think there's a problem. The public is saying clearly it's the economy and the immigration that are number one issue. And Labour? Well, I was going to say they look rattled, confused, even desperate, but they don't really. They'll be at all their parties tonight. They think they're in charge. But every one of them in their speeches had to slag off Farage. Why? Because they're frit, as Mrs. Thatcher would say. So what's happened today is Farage has hijacked Labour's big moment. What does it mean for British politics? Well, I'll break it down for you here. But the bottom line is they don't know what they're doing. Not just Starmer, the whole lot. And changing their leader will make no difference whatsoever. Let's just go through a little bit of the evidence and then we'll get to your comments. Please keep writing them up. If you're enjoying it, press the like button. I've got some great news for you about the audience figures in a couple of moments. But if you do, just press the press the like button for me now. Now then, let's just go back to who spoke today. Can we do that? Do you mind? Let's start with, I said, Yvette Cooper. Then we had Rachel Reeves. I missed the Education Secretary. Oh, dear. But evidently we're going to have a library in every primary school. I would have thought we should have had that already. But then let's get on to the big speech of the day. The Home Secretary. What did you make of it? You may not have seen it yet, but let me tell you, Shabana Mahmood, she did quite a good speech, talked about her background, etc., etc. But because Starmer yesterday had called Farage a grubby racist, and by implication so he's calling you that, they all thought they could jump on that. She was talking, this is the Home Secretary, about the rise of ethno-nationalism. I thought that was a type of petrol or diesel, but oh, no. It's far-right extremism. And then she went on about the demo, and she said, oh, yeah, not everybody was, a hooligan or whatever, but she talked about the arrests. She said, there were arrests and there was trouble. And she said it reminded her of when she was a child and the NF and the BNP were around, because she said, oh, that's the thing. She said, a demo organised by an ex-member of the BNP and the English Defence League. Well, Tommy left both of those, didn't he? But that's what she did to put it down. And then she said it reminded her of when she was growing up and she was running the corner shop for her mum and dad. She used to have a cricket bat under the counter. Now, I know lots of corner shops do that. And I know there was lots of horrible fascist, racist attacks against Asian people running those shops. Even the term that people use for the corner shop, which she used today, the P word, I don't like it. So don't use it here, right? She said that the cricket bat. She said it reminded her of going back to like that. That's not happening in Britain. That is a lie. That is bullshit. That is propaganda. And if it is happening, let the police root it out. And she also implied all the violence came from the people who were protesting, the people who were celebrating. No, it didn't. Likewise, there's been another, we've got to be careful what I say here, but there's been an attack, as you know, an attempted gang rape in Bicester, and only now, or Banbury, only now are they telling us what the suspects, or one of the suspects is. Took them all day to say one of them was white. Oh, and we don't know who the others were. Let's wait and see, but there's still nonsense going on, right? Oh, and I forgot to mention David Lammy, the Jaffa Cake man. He got up and gave a speech. I don't know why. He praised Angela Rayner, John Prescott, and then he went on about racism. Evidently, there's racism everywhere. There's almost race riots, according to Labour. It's nonsense. And meanwhile, as I say all this, the migrant hotels are still full. Thousands are still arriving over every single week. And there was one of those dinghies yesterday with 125 of them in. And then when they're busy slagging off Nigel or Reform, they slag off the other parties. Why don't you get a grip, Starmer? Get a grip, Labour, and tell us what you're going to do. Because then she gave her speech, the Home Secretary. Most of it I agreed with. She talked about doubling the time to get citizenship. She also told us about making sure people can read and write English to a good level. All things that we would all agree with, all of which, of course, were in Farage's policies that he spoke about last week, that on Sunday he was called a grubby racist. She said almost word for word. It was just slightly toned down. So is she a racist? Well, is she? And then on the telly this morning, they had minister after minister, MP after MP, asking them, well, if you support reform, are you a racist? So they're all saying, no. Well, what if you support this policy? Is that policy racist? Yes. Oh, so the policy is racist, but if you support the party, you're not a racist. It doesn't add up. It's the Diane Abbott adding up version of the world, isn't it? They must think we're stupid. I just felt today, I'm living in a parallel universe. And if Farage is this plastic patriot, if he is this and useless and his plans don't work, why is he leading in the polls? Why are you constantly talking about him? Why are you branding him a racist when he clearly isn't? Why are you calling him grubby? Why are you worried about the right to remain rules when you put forward the same policy today, but you do it in a reform light way? What's that about? Is Farage living rent-free in your heads? And as I say, the latest super poll says if there were an election today, Nigel Farage would be measuring up the curtains for number 10. Meanwhile, Starmer, who is politically tone deaf, as I've told you before, has alienated millions more voters by basically smearing everyone concerned about mass immigration as a racist. Shabana Mahmood, she then proposed the same immigration rules, almost identical to Farage's. So the question is she a racist? It's ludicrous. So that's the agenda. Nigel Farage, reform, Keir Starmer, the Labour conference, UK politics, Shabana Mahmood, Starmer out. He can't survive, can he? What's your view? Look at that, 26 likes. That's brilliant. Hundreds of people watching. That's what I like to see. I will now go through the comments and get as many of you on as I can. The good news is, just to let you know, I told you yesterday, I think, or the day before, we had 1.1 million views. I'm delighted to say it's official now. It's gone to 1.2 million. This podcast, these broadcasts are on fire, and it's down to you spreading the word. So if you want to restream this today, do. If you want to tell your mates to start watching it, start following Gaunty, do. And don't forget, the most important thing is subscribe to my YouTube channel, Jon Gaunt TV. It's free, completely free. Do that, and then obviously you will get notification whenever I'm going live. I did one extra one yesterday or Saturday, wasn't it? And let me just tell you as well, we've now got 5,044 subscribers. I think I said a couple of days ago, if we could break 5,000 by the end of next week, I'd be delighted. We've done it already. Don't forget, we're heading to 10,000. And then my final bit that I've written on an envelope here, just so I can read out to you, the people who have donated in the last day or so, big thank you to them. Jeepet, oh, thank you. I didn't drop the letter then. I do apologize. Jeepet, Elaine, Adam C, Richard Pope, Barry T, and Danny. Thank you very much indeed. If you'd like to donate, because don't forget, we need the cash to keep this going, then please do so. There's never been a more important time to have independent broadcasters, because they're not going to shut me up. I'm going to say what I feel, and I feel what's going on at the moment is almost a political coup. It's almost that, because we voted for something and they're delivering something completely different. JME says, hello all. Hello, JME. Why don't you make a point rather than just saying hello? Nick Johnson, all Nigel Farage has got to do is wait now. Well, I would agree with you there to a certain extent, my friend. But if he waits too long, what state is this country going to be in? We're almost a third world country already. with a lot of the people we've let in, and we haven't asked them to assimilate. We haven't asked them to behave. I was watching, did you watch Rylan and Rob Reiner, that program set in India? Brilliant program. Lots, I might talk about that another day. But some of our streets are resembling that now. Why? And stop calling me a racist. Tone deaf in one eye. Ain't no excuse, is it? Says Debbie Langton. No, I don't suppose it is. Outbreak of Farage derangement syndrome in the Labour Party, says Dave Whiteman. Well, you're right there, Dave. Over this weekend, it's been incredible. They can't say anything without then saying, and that Nigel Farage, he's a right racist. He's this, he's that. Yeah, but the problem is for you, love, not you, Dave, but for them, is that he's popular. Most people agree with him. You've lost the room, Starmer. And to then accuse people again of being racist, you're an idiot, even on a pragmatic level. Eric plays games, he says on YouTube. Control our borders, they said in speeches today. Something Labour have been spectacularly bad at. I'm glad you brought that up. Because, yes, she kept going on about controlling the borders. Lammy did the same thing. Yvette Cooper and getting tough on crime and all the rest of it. Where were the practical suggestions of how they're going to do it? Have you noticed the national ID card? They've basically stopped talking about it. That was going to be the big agenda item. 2.5 million people have told Starmer where to stuff his card. Now, whether he'll speak about it tomorrow, I don't know. But they've got all these vague ideas, but no detail. You can have wonderful ideas, and then they accuse Reform UK of having big ideas, but not working them out. What about you, Starmer? Like today, Mahmood. Oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make sure they speak English. I'm going to make... No. It's like the ID card. I'll give Laura Kunsberg a due. She said yesterday, well, why is that going to cut down the black economy? And he goes, because they'll have to find out. Well, I remember when I got my job at Waitrose that Christmas. I had to take my passport in and prove who I was. You have to do it anyway. An ID card would make no difference. And if it wasn't the posh supermarket, if it was a back street, in the black market, have a few quid in your hand, Gaunty, they wouldn't ask for an ID card, just like they don't ask for the stuff now. He just doesn't live in the real world. I bet you Starmer's never... Are you still allowed to use this term? Had someone do a foreigner for him? I mean, obviously, not a Ukrainian. But you know what I mean? I bet he's never done a foreigner or used a... You know what I'm getting at? I mean, I know it's an outdated term. Don't report me to the hate police, will you? Whatever you do. Divide and conquer, Labour Communist Party, but not in Britain, says Hula Hoop. Thank you, my friend. Denise Deacon, a regular. What Starmer and gang fail to realise is the more he calls people like me a racist, the more I resent him. Well said, Denise. Exactly where I'm coming from. Resent him and his failure of a government. When will he get that into his pathetic head? You're dead right. I was watching Freddie Flintoff. Have you seen that? Field of Dreams. Last night's programme was outstanding. If you haven't seen it, watch it on the iPlayer. Don't bother with it. And just watch it. Anyway, he's bringing on these kids, working class kids, girls now, as well as boys, to play cricket. And then through playing cricket, they get discipline and all the rest of it and self-respect and respect for other people. It's been fantastic, right? But do you know what he does? And this is why he was a brilliant cricketer, I guess, and why he will end up being the manager of the England cricket team. And I've been saying for weeks, he should be knighted for the work he's done with these working class kids. But he doesn't shout at them. He talks to them in different ways, depending on what they're like. It's like Brian Clough. Everyone says, Brian Clough, he was just a dictator. No, he clearly wasn't. If you read the books on him, read his book, he's not like that. Some of them need a crate of beer on the way to the game to get in the right mood. Some need a bit of a bollocking now and again. Freddie Flintoff, in that programme, they should put Freddie Flintoff in charge of sport in this country, right? In fact, he'd make a better Prime Minister than Starmer. I don't know what his politics are, but what I do know is he's a proud Englishman, and what I do know, he knows how to encourage kids, and that's what's needed. Are you with me or against me? Jamie, it doesn't work no more. Being called far right means nothing to me. Just call them a wet left. Thank you very much. No, don't go down. When they go low, as Michelle Obama said, we should be going higher because they've shown themselves up over the last few days for what they really are. Stoma is the biggest problem this country has got, and all time. It's the Labour Party who are the plastic patriots, aren't they? No lapel flags or anything on any of them. Yeah, that was quite a funny thing what GB News were doing today. They were giving them all a plastic flag to wave. I thought that was funny. Yvette Balls has Union Jack knickers to keep head away. Now. Although I don't know how he can be. When they complain about Farage having a TV programme, but Ed Balls interviews his own wife when she's the Foreign Secretary or the Home Secretary. It's not right, is it? By the way, if you want to donate, please click on the little dollar sign at the bottom of the screen here, please, and donate whatever you fancy. Or go to www.buymeacoffee.com, and I'm going to put all the new names on the bottom of the ticker tape there. So if you want to donate that way, you can. www.buymeacoffee.com/Jon Gaunt, and it's a $5 upwards. Really could do with you doing that. So please do if you fancy. If I hear Farage and Zia mention Boris Wave again, I'm having 2 paracetamol. Did you say something before that, Debbie? Well, that's not propaganda. That's true. That is true. There was a Farage wave when he let all those people in. Not a Farage wave, sorry, a Boris wave. I don't understand that. It's a totally different thing. That's not like calling Farage a fascist. It's not the same at all. That's a statement of fact. Barbara Ward, UK can't wait another 3 years. Starmer will have totally destroyed this country by then. If he had any goods, he would demand that the French pay the UK back their money. They've got to stop the dingoes setting off from France. I agree, but he hasn't got any balls, has he? So that ain't going to happen. Elric plays game. It's 7 out, 11 in illegally, and that's 11. That's 1-to-1 scheme, and the rest, the illegals, Labour has failed to stop it. It's a bit confused, that Elric. Slow down when you text, and I might be able to understand it. I think I do understand basically what you're saying. They're still saying the 1 in, 1 out. Oh, we're going to ramp it up. But at the moment, as Eric says, it's thousands in, not just 11. It's thousands. And he's had 7 out. And have you noticed they're all from different countries? Did I or did not I say this last week? You watch, it'll be 1 from Pakistan, 1 from India, 1 from Afghanistan, 1 from Turkey, 1 from... So that they can turn around and they say, oh, we've deported people from at least 15 countries. They won't say, yeah, but it's only 1 from each. And that's them again conning you, the British public. Tommy Hill, what is actually going on with Starmer is what I want to know. Yeah, what's the agenda underneath it? I think that's a good question. Stephen and Sharon says they're zombies. I think that's being a bit polite or even a bit insulting to zombies. That flag-waving man looked like a setup. Rachel Reeves isn't clever enough to ad-lib. Yeah, there was a bloke who stood up and shouted out about Palestine, heckled her, and she came back with this perfect put-down. And I agree with you, Janet. I think that might well have been staged. Craig says, hi, John. Well done. Well said. Thank you very much indeed. Anybody going to donate? Come on. I did a show the other day and I came off and Lisa said, how was that? I said, brilliant. Probably the biggest audience we've ever had on YouTube and for a live show. And she said, how many donations you get? I said, none. I couldn't believe it. So the more people watch, the less cash comes in. Come on, be reasonable, be fair. It's worth a $5 of anybody's money, isn't it? Oh, talking of which, when I tell you the figures, when I'm saying to you, like, we got 5,044 subscribers, and when I tell you we got 1.2 million people have now watched the video, or video watches, that's just on YouTube. I'm not talking about the thousands who watch on Twitter, who watch on Facebook as well. The audience is really, really growing. And I put out an email to all my people, all the people who have donated. I send out occasional emails to tell them what's going on. I always tell them first what the figures are. So I did that yesterday or the day before. And so you get that as well if you subscribe, if you pay some money in. And that's only fair, isn't it? Wojtek Krajewski is one of my biggest supporters. He sent me one saying, have you realised you've gone past 5,000 subscribers? And I hadn't actually. But I lied. I said to him, yeah, I'm just writing an email out to everyone to tell them. Then I looked it up and I was so excited. But I've got to get to 10,000. Got to get to 10,000. So help me. Tell all your friends. Today in an interview, they asked about VAT or rises, and Starmer, trying to indicate there will not be rises, said the manifesto stands. Well, that's a load of cobblers, as they've already proven that's a lie. They just can't stop lying. Yeah, you mean they've lied about the rest of it? Why wouldn't they lie about that? I understand completely, my friend. Jackie, let me tell you now, Jackie, bet your house on it, VAT is going to go up. And you know what will happen then? Unless they make an exemption for hospitality, there'll be pubs or restaurants, hotels, the length and breadth of this country collapsing. I think they will increase VAT. I really do. And I think that will happen in the next week or two. I think she's going to have to break some things before the budget. Did you see her speech? She doesn't inspire confidence either. She's just terrible. But the Tories next week, we're going to rip into them because I think they'll be dreadful as well. Where are we going next? Let's go to Private Yosi, B32. He just put a $5 in. Thank you very much. You put a load of money in the other day, so thank you very much indeed for that. I think that was Thursday or Friday. It's much appreciated, Private. Why do people keep saying Starmer out? It's really annoying. We need Labour out, not just their cult leader. That's a very good point indeed. And thank you very much indeed for your donation. That's the first one today. Anybody else want to tip in? Please do. Click the little $sign. Starmer and Labour have Farage derangement syndrome, says Kieran. They do. They try to use the reform polling and popularity to scaremonger the electorate and deflect from their failures and lies. And that's Kieran in Macedonia. What are you doing over there? But thank you very much indeed for your comments. You're right, though. That is what they're doing. I think they think in this London Westminster bubble, they think Farage is terrible because inviting Farage to a dinner party or saying you like him in their circles would be a bit like farting at one of their posh Islington dinner parties. It's just not acceptable. It's not acceptable anyway. But that's how they see it. And they think the whole of the country think like them. So every time they slag off Farage, they think they're really putting him down. They're actually elevating him. That's why I'm saying tonight, Nigel Farage is the star of the Labour conference. Next week, he'll be the star of the Conservative conference. And this is why he's going to win. The only way he's going to lose is if he F's it up himself. Do you agree or disagree? There's Maggie Young. Hello, Maggie. Reform has Asians, black, Christians, Muslims representing them. So how they can be racist? How can they be racist? It's an absolute joke. I agree with you, Maggie. Their chairman is a Muslim. Even when I was years ago with UKIP and the party he had before Brexit, there was a whole mixture of people in it. A whole mixture. I just find it's just so easy, isn't it? And it's been used to shut people up so much by the woke left. You're a racist. And then you're worried that if you get accused of that, you have to backpedal because if not, you might lose your career. Listen to one who knows. Let me tell you. Who's this? Trevor Malloy. I'm disabled, John, i.e. I'm bedbound. Is our man going to stop disabled people's money? I hope he gets the ones that pretend to be disabled. If so, reform, I can't wait. Wait until England till we die. Thank you very much indeed for your comment, Trevor. And keep listening and watching and telling all your mates. Oh, that's another thing as well. Don't forget, when you've subscribed to the Jon Gaunt channel, the YouTube channel, which is free, completely free, you can look at all the other videos. And if you do look at those videos, you're going to help me as well, because that will then up the viewing numbers. All of these things help the algorithm to push my work more than, say, somebody else's. So, because other presenters on here, they were on Talk or GB News, so they've got a huge following from that. When I was on Talk Radio, there wasn't such a thing really as YouTube, and we certainly didn't bother with it. It had 1 million listeners anyway. But now, if you had that leg up, you're away. So that's, again, why I need you to help me. May Brennard, I feel I live on a different planet than Labour. No, you're not the only one. Preston journalist, Labour's biggest mistake, calling reform racist. It's a schoolboy political error. You are so right, Preston. But as I just said, in their dinner party circles, they all hate Farage. And you know what they hate most is that he can communicate. Yeah, but he went to public. They do all that, don't they? Have you noticed it on X? But he went to a public school. He isn't working class. It isn't just about being working class. It's whether you can communicate. And you can only communicate if you respect those people. And that's why I think Farage will become a good leader. Because you lot don't respect us. Starmer doesn't like us. Yvette Cooper, do you think she really likes? Do you really think she has got Union Jack knickers? As she hellers like. As she hellers like. And I find it pathetic when they start talking about football. They must have a briefing session when they say, try and mention, it'd be like a bingo card. Try and mention football. Try and pretend you've been to the bingo. Somebody asked Starmer yesterday, have you ever been to one of the migrant hotels? And he said yes, but he was obviously lying. Lying. I don't know what the agenda is, but it's beginning to scare me. Sam Deacon, we won't have a country in 2029. We'll be living in an Islamic country. Yeah, be careful, though, that you don't get diverted into just blaming all Muslim people. I've got Muslim friends, personally, who can't stand Starmer either and don't want to load more people in the country, whether they're Muslim, Jews, Hindus, Sikhs, or whatever. They just think like you and me. So let's be careful. I'm not on an anti-Muslim rant here. Private Yosi. People, open your eyes. Believe it or not, the country is being run by the Fabian Society, and that's a cult. Tony Blair is the head snake. Well, I'm coming around much more to that way of thinking, my friend. Yeah, I think you're right. Thank you for it. And again, he's just donated another £5. Look, we can't leave it all down to private to put all the money in, can we? Anybody else want to bang a £5 in? Please take the pressure off him. It's not fair. Where am I now? John Howard, you blocked me on X in 2021 because we clashed on the COVID. I didn't want to take the jab. Oh, God, can't you fucking grow up? I didn't want to take the jab and you said I was wrong for that. Well, I think you were. In hindsight, do you feel I should have got it? Probably. Listen, I am not going to have a discussion about COVID. That's what I believe then. I do think a lot of what happened during COVID was wrong. One day I'll do a program about all of that. But, John, if you're still carrying a grievance, oh, don't block me, he's horrible. Just fuck off and listen to something else. Or be a man up, and just think, well, I don't agree with him on that, and he doesn't agree with me. Grow up, John. You've got kids in your avatar. Is this the example you set to them? Grow up. And if I banned you, who cares? You're back on now, obviously, aren't you? I'm sorry, everyone, to rant, but I just find it, some of these COVID fanatics on both sides of the argument. It happened. It was horrible for everyone. I had a personal friend who died of it, so I've got an agenda on it. I accept. Some of the things I said were probably wrong or were wrong, but the majority, it's my view. It's called an opinion, and we still live in a democracy. So, John, I'm willing to forgive you if you are willing just to move on and be a big boy. Come on, John. What's next? Warwick Milne. They only won so many seats because of our electoral system. Most of these new MPs will be working in Starbucks in 4 years. Yeah, but the electoral system is the electoral system. They actually won because no one really bothered voting. There was a totally low turnout. The Tories were so crap. If there'd been anyone but the below, the above box, that would have won, wouldn't it, basically? But you've still got to say he did win. It was a fair election. Let's not start pretending it was cheated. We're saved. Rachel Reeves has enrolled. We're saved. Also, Rachel Reeves has enrolled in Diane Abbott's School of Mathematics. Correct. An Islamic extremist is not fit for the job controlling the borders. You're talking about the new Home Secretary. She has said things in the past which raise a few eyebrows. I accept that. But I don't know whether you could actually describe her as an extremist. Time will tell. Clearly, these Labour MPs, says Graham Hatton, are so delusional that they're completely unhinged in an interview. And I'm sure they believe their own hype. It's laughable, John. Even my goldfish had to look away when they started to splutter their shit to the nation. Thank you. I think I agree with you. I mean, there was a young lad on this afternoon. I felt sorry for him. He had all the catchphrases, and then a bloke came on afterwards and said, where did they get him from? Chat GPT. And it was like using AI to answer the questions. You know, they always bland everything out. That's what this guy was trying to do. And he hadn't even started shaving. And he was a Labour MP. It's all pathetic. It's all pathetic. The greatest flaw in the proposed ID system is the nepotism show to Tony Blair's lad. Yeah, they reckon that he's going to be involved in the development of it, aren't they? But I don't think it's going to happen. I didn't think it was going to happen before. I thought there'd be a load of fuss about it and then it won't actually happen. Because how are you going to do it? How are you going to enforce it? But then on top of that, now I notice he's not talking about it. And he couldn't defend it yesterday when he's being interviewed by Laura Kunsberg, which is like chewing fudge, isn't it? You know, it's not as if that's difficult. Trevor Malloy, England, every single migrants need to F off. Well, that's nonsense. What? Even people who've come here, settled and contributed and are bringing up their kids well. Let's not get carried away here, Trevor. It's the illegals we're talking about. Yes? Oh, hi, Mum, says Sam Deacon. I guess your mum's Denise Deacon, one of my regulars. Here, Sam, you can impress your mum. Send a donation. I am far right with a mixed family. Bring it on, Starmer. What a great comment. Thank you. I've got friends who are mixed race or black or Asian, but are now going to vote for Nigel Farage because they're just fed up with the country. They've got the similar problems to us. They want their kids to get educated. They want their doctor to be there. They want all of those things that all of us want. See, that's why you mustn't fall into the trap of saying it's all the Muslims' fault. Because not all, I admit a lot of them are, but not all of these illegals are Muslims. And it's not the Muslims that are causing all the problems. Do you understand where I'm coming from here? If you start being like that, then you're just as bad as idiot face here, Starmer, slagging off Farage and anyone who goes on those demos as a far-right BNP hooligan type. It's nonsense. John, we all know that the ID cards won't stop the dinghy divers getting a job with Deliveroo or Uber or Just Eat or indeed any of the others. I agree with you. Do not use food deliveries, says Stephen. Stephen, thank you, my friend. I've been saying that for ages, ever since this scandal broke. Do you need a lukewarm pizza? A curry that's all coming out of the packet? Do you need that so much that you can't get off your fat lardy ass? Get in your car and go and pick it up yourself. See, I'd bankrupt them until they could prove to me they're doing it right. And anyway, you're not so busy. Oh, I'm going to have a pizza delivered. We've got to get, I think we'll get a takeout. Yeah, a takeout. Where did that expression come from? It's a takeaway. But anyway, it's beside the point. I just don't get it. Cook yourself something. Labour are, what's that? Labour are Reform's best marketeers at the moment. It's working and it's free. You are right. They're playing into Reform's agendas, as Brian Heal on YouTube. Calling Reform racist is racist in itself. You are true. You are right. I've done the marketeers one. Another £2. Oh, my goodness me. It's the Fabian Society. Open your eyes, says Private Yosin. He's put another £2 in. You are. And then he says, I've donated 3 times, you old cobber. Yes, you have. And I did say earlier, we can't just leave it down to you. Other people should join in as well. But I really appreciate your support. So thank you for that. I vote UKIP because I want to make a difference. Please, let's break the system, says Fraser Ford. Thank you, Fraser. Oh, look at this. Look at this. I forgive you, says John Howard. He's the one who had a go at me about COVID. I lost my rag. John, thank you. And I forgive you. Let's be mates. And I'm sorry I lost my rag earlier. But, you know, some people love it when I lose the rag. Not Ronnie Hurst. He says swear box John needed. Okay. Sorry if I've upset you, you sensitive little flower. Are you aware that there is a live government digital ID app to download? And it's been there since 2003. No, I wasn't. A couple of Samsung users I'm aware of found the app on their phones. It possibly came via updates. I'll look into that, Ray. Thank you very much indeed. John, thank you for always talking sense, unlike the clowns we've got in power. No problem. Brick card, more like a shit card. Yeah, I made that joke the other week. But yeah, it's a fair point, Tony. And of course, I agree with you totally. Right, that's it then. That's all the comments. Unless you want to comment now before I go. What is the time? 7:15. EastEnders at 7:30. You know I don't like missing that. The most important thing to say to you today about all this is don't be conned by any side about this. Obviously, Starmer's lying and this whole government is. And we're not going to fall for that, are we? But by the same token, don't fall into the trap of just finding the bogeyman and thinking everybody's like that has caused the problem, because they haven't. Do you know what I mean? And that's what they want. That's what politicians want. I actually believe there are some people, I've got to be careful what I say now, in high positions of power who would love this to all kick off and turn into race riots and the rest of it. I don't want that. I don't want that. That's not British. That's not a British value. I just want our politicians to listen. The Tories didn't listen for 14 years. Starmer's not listening now. And the one who aligns with me most is Farage. I mean, I suppose I'm lucky in a way because I actually know him personally. But I wasn't going to vote for him until about 4 months ago. I suddenly thought, out of all of them, it's got to be him. We've just got to get rid of this government. Next week, we'll be slagging off the Tories, because what rubbish are they going to come out with? Got a view? That's good. So then, going back to what I was saying earlier, the thing you can really do to help me is to subscribe to Jon Gaunt TV on YouTube. You'll find it dead easy. The thing comes up when you enter. Do you want to subscribe? Say yes. Doesn't cost anything, and you can leave whenever you want. And we don't bombard you with stuff, but we do tell you when I'm doing an extra show, which is useful, I think. If you want to donate to help these develop and keep them going, and I'm doing many more. When I started off, I was only doing 4 a week. Sometimes I didn't even manage that. But now I'm doing 7, 8, whatever, loads. And all I ask for is a little donation. So if you can help, that would be really brilliant. Either now by pressing the $sign on the YouTube video, or by going to Buy Me a Coffee. Buy Me a Coffee tomorrow is accounting day, so it'd be great if you could do it tonight or first thing in the morning. www.buymeacoffee.com/Jon Gaunt. You can buy me a beer if you want, but it's £5 a go. Many people chuck in 15 quid, but you don't have to. Just do what you can afford. And if you think, well, why is he asking for the money if it's doing so well? Because the advertising at this moment, I take much more money from Buy Me a Coffee and your donations on YouTube than I'm getting from the advertising. Once I get to 10,000 subscribers, things begin to change. But at the moment, that's where I am. And I'm just being honest with you. And as I told you, this is a bit of a joke, of course. Lisa, right? She's now got the account sheet out. Well, she's got it on a computer now. Oh, she's got a high tech with it. She sat me down today and said, right, what's your figures? What was your buy your coffee money last week? That must have gone in the bank today, because they do it on a Tuesday and then you get it the following Monday. I said, yes. So I had to show her. Oh, man alive. She could be the Chancellor. She hasn't worked for the Bank of England. Mind you, no, it's Rachel Reeves, is she? I tell you what, she'll be a good Home Secretary. She's a bit liberal, though, my wife. But anyway, there we are. Where are we? Right, I'm going to finish off by going through some of these comments. Craig says, John, thank you for always talking sense, unlike the clowns we've got in power. Maggie Young, I wondered if you'd come on tonight, Maggie. Hi, yeah, she's a Cov City fan, and she says, we spanked the Brummies, and she's given me 5 claps and a sky blue heart. It was amazing, wasn't it, Maggie? We were brilliant. As you know, I've backed Frank Lampard right from the beginning. No, I never. I have apologised, though, for not thinking he could do it. He's done a brilliant job. And for us to win 3-0 when some of our best players weren't even there, they're injured. Rudoni, or whatever his name is. Whoa, we were just magnificent. And I see the Brummies, you let yourselves down again, didn't you? Whenever the Birmingham lot come and they lose, they wreck our toilets. I think it's because they've never seen a proper sit-down. I'm only joking. Cheers, mate, for the stream, says Stephen. No problem, Stephen. Thank you for your donation. I'm thanking you in advance. Jackie Ward should give me the 3 red hearts. I can never leave until I've got them. Thank you, John, and take care. I will do. And thumb up for the channel, says Stephen. Well, that's good. You're doing a great job, pal, says Jon Gaunt Booth. Yeah, I'm pretty good at it, aren't I? Get the silver YT thing. You only get that. I think you doing the YouTube thing. I don't know how you get that. I got a little certificate saying congratulations, 1 million views, but I think you have to get a million subscribers. I don't know. I don't know how you do that. All I know is I've got to keep building it. But you know what? I'm just enjoying it. I said in my email to all the fans who've donated last night, I said, I've really got mojo back. I can't believe how much better I feel now. I've been doing this about 9 months, but it just suddenly began to click. And I just love it. And if I don't do one, I get real bad mood. So yesterday I had a day off. I shouldn't have done because I get down about it. I like talking to you. And I hope that you enjoy it. And listen, I'm not after popularity in terms of wanting you to agree with everything I say. God, that'd be tedious. That'd be like watching the BBC, wouldn't it? No, I want you to argue. And like that John Howard, good sport, because I really just slagged him off, didn't I, just then? I lost my temper with him. But he said, all forgiven. That's the way to be. I used to say this when I was on the radio. Don't worry if I upset you talking about something, because in a few minutes' time, I'll say something which you totally agree with. Not because I'm devil's advocate, just because I'm a human. I have a mixture of views and opinions. They don't all come out of, oh, I'm left wing, oh, I'm right wing. That's just crap. That's like why I don't really like just talking about one subject. I like going off at tangents and talking about other things. Right. Oh, by the way, your homework for tonight, you've got to go and watch Ryland and Rob Reiner, that series, brilliant, and watch Freddie Flintoff. Craig's now decided to depress me at the end of the show. John, it's 100,000 subscribers for YouTube, Black. Oh, dear. I'll be about 190 by then, Craig. We'll see. Anyway, thank you very much indeed. I really enjoyed it. Hope you did as well. I'll be back tomorrow at 6:30. Please tell all your friends. Cracking numbers tonight. 53 on the like button. Have a look at the Jon Gaunt TV channel on YouTube. Subscribe for free. If you want to donate, well, you know how to do it. Do that for me as well. But thanks a lot for watching tonight. Pa says, Labour are finished. They're all over. TY, says Stephen. I don't know what that means. And Pam Millett says, I do enjoy John. You're a very special person. I hope you mean that in the right way. Thank you anyway. Thank you very much, Pam Millett. See you later. If you've got kids, give them a kiss, give them a hug. Don't forget to tell them you love them. See ya.